Review of ancient China. By the end of this video, you should be able to describe how geography affected the development of Chinese civilization, list the characteristics and accomplishments of the different dynasties, and understand the main beliefs of the major philosophies. Geography. China formed along two main rivers, the Huanghe, or the Yellow River, and the Changjiang, or the Yangtze River. Civilizations formed inland, not on the coast as they did in other areas, and the rivers were used for transportation, communication. China was isolated from other regions by mountains and deserts and didn't always have a lot of contact with other areas at the same time. The Shang dynasty is the first to come to power in China. It focused on the military to build its empire, and the king was considered a direct representative of the gods. Oftentimes they would use what they called oracle bones to understand the gods' wishes, and they would ask a question and then look at the way that the bones cracked and use that as a way to interpret what the gods wanted them to do. Society was divided between nobles and peasants, and religion developed with aspects of ancestor worship. If you said good things about your ancestors who had already died, they would take care of you. And if you said bad things, well, bad things would happen to you. They were also known for their bronze and ceramic work. The Zhou dynasty overthrew the Shang dynasty. They invaded from the west. And this king ruled by dividing his territory into sections. The Zhou dynasty also developed the idea of the mandate of heaven, or that the king's authority came from heaven as long as he ruled wisely and responsibly. So the king could say, as long as he was in power and things were going well, that he had heaven's permission to rule. But if something bad happened or the king lost power, then people believed it was because he'd lost the mandate of heaven and he wasn't behaving responsibly anymore. There was an emphasis on farming and trade, and also on the importance of family and the idea that family members had a duty to obey the male head of the family, most often the father. And it was during this time that Chinese civilization developed a complex written language that's the basis of the system they use today. Confucianism developed in this same time period as a way to promote order and stability in society, and it promoted the idea of the Tao, or the Way, which basically means that you do your duty with regard to others, and it specified particular relationships, parent-child, husband-wife, siblings, friends, ruler-subject, that should guide your way of living. It emphasized having a strong work ethic and a sense of compassion toward others. Also, in Chinese philosophy, two other ideas developed that were significantly different from Confucianism: Taoism and legalism. Taoism was based on the teachings of Lao Tzu and set forth forms of proper behavior for the people. And it basically said that people should be spontaneous and let nature take its course, and not to interfere with the ways of the universe. In terms of legalism, the belief was that humans are evil by nature and that they need harsh laws and stiff punishments to know what to do, and that a strong ruler will create an orderly society. The next dynasty is the Qin dynasty, and it followed the legalism philosophy. The government was designed to make sure that the people were following the rules. They used a single monetary system, expanded the road network, and expanded their borders through force. They also built the Great Wall to protect themselves from northern invaders. And in the archaeological discoveries of this dynasty, people have found just hundreds upon hundreds of warrior statues or terracotta warriors in the ruins, and they're believed to be representations of the actual military that was used during the Qin dynasty. And finally, we have the Han dynasty, which followed the principles of Confucianism developed by the leader Confucius. And the Han dynasty expanded borders and enlarged the empire, but that caused a problem in that the population growth was such that there was a reduction in the amount of farmland each family had, and it was difficult to have enough food to eat. This dynasty was also accomplished in terms of ironworking, shipbuilding, and paper-making skills. That is your very brief review of the ancient civilizations of China. If you need to rewind or rewatch any portion of this video, feel free to do so now.